everybody, Mark over here at Twanger's Turntable. Hope you're all doing well. Cheers, everybody. I know it's summer holidays. I hope you're all enjoying your summer. I'm actually on summer holidays, sort of. I'm in between. We went away, as I alluded to in one of my videos, where I wouldn't be doing much this summer. Now we're back before we go away again, so I thought I'd maybe jump on and share a video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Cheers, everybody. If you're returning, you should be familiar with the way things work here. We get on, talk about some records, join in some fun with some threads and whatnot that go on in the vinyl community, as is the case today. My buddy George G's Room of Rock. I'll leave links below to what I mentioned here. Started a thread. He's amazing at doing these threads. I first saw his thread over at my buddy Brett, Headbanger's Closet. I'll leave a link to that as well. But he's doing a thread of 10 songs that scream metal. So if somebody were not familiar with metal and they were just being introduced, what 10 songs would you recommend to that person, whatever the case be? And they're completely unfamiliar with metal. I think a lot of people dismiss metal as being, I don't know, just aggressive and it is aggressive. What's the best way? It's basically, to me, it's just a more powerful form of rock. You add some emphasis on the more crunch to the guitar, more power to the drums, the rhythm section, the bass, and you get metal out of rock. And yes, it can be very aggressive. Certainly there are different genres or subgenres of metal. I'm just sticking with metal, as George alluded to. Like I said, I'll leave a link. So there's no, I'm going to dip into a little thrash here because I love thrash. But there's not going to be any death metal, black metal, any of that stuff. It's just basic metal. And I'm going to go with almost the origins of metal all the way up into essentially the 80s, which is really my wheelhouse of metal. That's metal's heyday to me. In fact, I'd go a step further and say New Album is the heyday of heavy metal to me. I know it's really in its infancy, but it's where it really took off. And I still tend to gravitate towards most of the new wave of British heavy metal acts, as cheesy as some of it can be, just for its rawness, its authenticity. It was new. It was taking it to some place that it hadn't gone before with the pioneers of metal that I'll get to in a minute. But for somebody who is just being introduced to metal, it can be melodic. It can be very, very complex, progressive metal. It can be a lot of things. It can be that power metal with the how would you describe the power metal? More power metal would be more melodic and tends to be more up in the higher scale of vocals. Not always, but that power metal. But if somebody were not familiar with metal, I put together a video here that I know, George, you wanted to stick to around 10 minutes or so. This is going to exceed that because I've got nothing to do. I'm on summer holidays until we head out again. I'm just watching videos, which reminds me, I did watch my buddy Craig over at the Spirit of Vinyl do a response to your earlier thread. So thanks for the shout out, Craig. Back at you, buddy. It was a really good video. I enjoyed that a lot. We have a lot of very similar interest in music, so it's an easy watch for me. I enjoy that. At my age, I don't need to expand my horizons too much. I know what I like. I like what I like. I tend to stick to that, with the odd exception here and there. I want to check things out. I digress. Back to what I was talking about. So I'm going to kind of go chronological, and the 10 songs, which is very difficult to pick just 10. There's so many. So I'm not excluding, well, I'm excluding a lot, but it's just to pare it down to 10. I'm hoping to see many more responses to the thread here because there's so many you could go with. I'm going with, arguably to me, and many others. I guess I'm not on an island here, but the grandfathers of heavy metal, and it's Black Sabbath. And this is my favorite Black Sabbath album, Master Reality. And I went with Children of the Grave on this one, and I'm going to play a little bit of that. That's what I'm doing in this video. So I hope you dig it. If you're new to metal, here you go. This is a great introduction, in my humble opinion. so killer. I mean, the riffs, Tony came up with that, and Bill Ward to me was one of those funny enough, jazz influence based, but just fits so perfectly, as you'll see with many of these. The rhythm section with him and Geezer, I mean, amazing. Sabbath, rest in peace, Ozzy. I don't need to say anymore. Next up, I went with, how could you not include Rob Halford? Yeah, if you're introducing somebody to metal. So, and again, these are by and large my favorite albums by these vocalists or these bands. And I went with Stained Class, and Beyond the Realms of Death is just so killer. I could have gone with a lot of songs on here, and there are songs that are arguably faster and arguably heavier. I don't know. That's a debate for somebody else. I don't get into that. But Beyond the Realms of Death has always been my favorite, and it's probably my favorite Priest song overall as well. So if you've not heard it, here you go. Check it out. It's only a snippet. It doesn't really do it justice. I would really encourage you to check out these bands and the entire albums if you have not. So enjoy. One of my favorite duos of KK and Tipton of all time, as I've mentioned probably ad nauseum. So next up, in a chronological order, got to represent the female artists here. And there weren't a lot to choose from, in my opinion. I mean, there are obviously thousands of female vocalists, but in the metal the era that I'm sticking with, I went with Girls' School, their second album, Hit and Run. I mean, Denise Duford on drums on this. I went with Future Flash, which is not one of their, it's a deep track. I mean, it kicks off side 2, but it's a great track, in my opinion. Little tidbit about Denise Duford. She's the sister of Dave Duford from Angel Witch, which was also one of my early bands that I discovered I didn't discover them, but were new to me of the new wave of British heavy metal back in the day. I had it on cassette. Now I'm getting off track again, as I often do. If you're new to my channel, you'll see that quite often. It's just what I do. But yeah, Girls' School, it's a killer track. Check it out if you have not already. I'd have to introduce these girls to somebody that had not heard metal before. That's just an awesome track in my mind. It's an awesome album in my opinion. Next up, man, there's no way I could introduce somebody to metal and not have these guys represent what these guys have done for metal single-handedly. I would suggest they're in a small group. In fact, I would say there's maybe a group of 4 that are at the top of the metal mountain, in my opinion. These are all my opinion. It's Sabbath, it's Priest, it's Maiden, it's Metallica that are at, and then everything else branches down from that. And I'm not talking literally. It's just, that's, if I was introducing somebody to metal for the first time, they're 4 essential bands for sure. So speaking of those, the second album, 1981, Killers, and the title track. I just went with the title track. Keep it simple. Clive Burr, my man. I mean, I love Peace of Mind. I love Number of the Beast, all that came after. And to say I like those more than the first 2 would kind of be blasphemous, because Clive was my man. This was my jams. What really moved the meter for me and wanted me to get into drums even more than I already had a passion for. And so if you've not heard any of this stuff before, I'm going to leave a little sample, but check them out. I think you have to if you're a serious metal fan. But who am I to say? I mean, that's not literal. It's just, you don't have to do anything. I'm not a gatekeeper here. It's just what moves it for me. So I hope you enjoy it. I love that whole album, but most metal fans know what I'm alluding to. But if you're not a metal fan, that's why I'm presenting these. Check them out. Next up, in chronological order, this came out probably, I think, about 6 months after Killers. And it's the second with this vocalist, but it's again Black Sabbath. But this time it's Mob Rules. And I was going to go with the title track because it is such a killer track. In fact, the whole album is killer. Side 1, Turn Up the Night, Voodoo, The Sign of the Southern Cross, and then the E5150 and it leads into Mob Rules. But I went with The Sign of the Southern Cross just because it's epic. It's an epic metal tune. It's an epic metal album. And, just when you thought after Ozzy's departure, Sabbath may be done, Dio comes along and resurrects these guys. And sure, Bill doesn't appear on this album, but Vinny Appice is just brings another power level that Sabbath frankly didn't have before. Well, it's a completely different style, and it's very noticeable with Geezer and Peachy on here, as one would become more familiar with because they did other albums together. But yeah, Sign of the Southern Cross. I hope you dig it. It's amazing. Could have picked any track, but that's what I went with.
If there isn't light when no one sees, then how can I know what you might believe? be real, somehow must reflect the truth we feel, yeah. Fade away, vanish into smoke. Fade away, break the crystal ball. It's the feels like the time. On a small world west of wonder, somewhere, nowhere all, there's a rainbow that will shimmer when the summer falls. If an echo doesn't answer when it hears a certain song, then the beast is free to wander, but never seen around. And it's the sign of the Southern Cross. It's the sign of the Southern Cross. All right. Sail away to the sea. From the book, the word is spoken.
Wow, yeah. I could listen to that whole thing, but I don't even know if I'll be allowed to include those little snippets, but we'll see. This may be a real funny or weird video if I can't include those snippets, but I'm showing the albums in the event that I can't show the song. Then you can check them out for yourself. Next up, chronologically, and this kicked off the whole era of metal on the music video channels, which I personally didn't get into very much. But yeah, I'm talking about Quiet Riot, Mental Health. I mean, I'd have to encourage somebody not familiar with metal to at least listen to the title track on this. I mean, I think the whole album is great, and rest in peace, Kevin DeBrow. And Frank Benelli on drums on here. Again, that power with Rudy Sarzo that, many were familiar with from his touring with Ozzy. He wasn't on those first two Ozzy albums, but he did tour with them. But yeah, amazing. And early Quiet Riot, I mean, is not including their first two that were only released in Japan, is to me where it's at. And yeah, you can decide for yourself. I'll play a little snippet of Mental Health right now. Enjoy.
Driver, Mama says that I never mind her. Got no brains, I'm insane. The teacher says that I'm one big brain. I'm like a laser, six-string razor. I got a mouth like an alligator. I want it louder, more power. I'm gonna rock it till it strikes the hour.
Yeah, that track always does it for me every time I hear it. Yeah, it never gets old. Here we are, like, what are we at? We're 43 years later. That was 1983. I can't even I don't even feel that old up here, let alone here, but it is what it is. Time waits for no one. Next up, again, this is 1983, same year. And I decided to go with a couple of Canadian content, maybe not as well known, but Killer Dwarfs and Heavy Mental Breakdown is a great track on here. Yeah, this was released 1983. Daryl, what was his name? I think it was Daryl Miller, but Daryl Dwarf is what he's credited as on the credits. I'm sorry that the glare is so bad on this. This is I think it's a 2020 reissue or somewhere around there. But yeah, if you've not heard it, now's your chance. Just check it out. It's a good, fun album, not to be taken too seriously. I don't take my music that seriously anyway. I just enjoy listening to it. I hope you'll dig this one.
Waiting for a lifetime for this thing to break. Finding what I'm after, live a life of faith. People give me hassle, just give me a break. I know what you're after, you can kiss my face. Heavy mental breakout, short-sighted overload. Heavy mental shakedown, I'm ready to explode. I live heavy mental, I live for today.
Next up, again, another Canadian act. Chronologically, these guys came out, pardon me, I think probably early part of the 80s they came out. They're from, I think, Regina. Those guys, Killer Dwarf was Oshawa, if I recall, Oshawa, Ontario. These guys are Regina, Saskatchewan, and I've shown them before, as others have too, but few and far between. This actually reminds me of another thread. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's Kick Axe and Vices, 1984. Same producer that did Mental Health on this one, actually. But yeah, Brian Gilstrom on drums on this one. Escaped me there for a second. He's on the back, thankfully. But again, what is essential for heavy metal, I think, is that it's just rock turned up to, to use a Spinal Tap line, turned up to 11. It's just more powerful drums, more powerful rhythm section, and guitars tend to be heavier. And this, I think, the track I'm sharing here represents that quite well. Heavy Metal Shuffle is the track, and yeah, check it out. Check out the entire album. It's pretty good. I recommend this album. In fact, I still spin this from time to time. So here you go, Heavy Metal Shuffle. Next up, oh man, one of my faves. Like I say, in that top four, the Mountain of Metal should be on. If there was a Rushmore of metal bands, these guys would be there. There's no question. Both my buddy George and Brett showed these guys. Different album though. This is my favorite by them, And it is, of course, 1984 when everything changed. I heard this and Kill 'Em All in pretty short succession together, and wow, it changed metal. But I went with For Whom the Bell Tolls because I think it is actually the best song on the entire album. And I mean, like, just as far as songwriting, musicality, everything. Cliff was very heavily involved in many aspects of this album, and I think it shows. I think there's a defining period with Cliff in the band and then without, in my opinion. And Lars takes a lot of shit, but the sound on this album is just amazing. Could have gone with the title track, and I almost did. I did a little snippet of that as well, but ultimately I decided to go with For Whom the Bell Tolls. Never gets old. And if somebody's being introduced to metal, that would definitely be a song I would say, look, you got to check that out. If you're not listening to that, or at least something by Metallica. My buddies did Master of Puppets, and yeah, of course that's, you know, anything by Metallica, in my humble opinion. So yeah, here you go. For Whom the Bell Tolls. Yeah. Thank the gods for Metallica. That's all I can say. Last but certainly not least, these guys are often associated as the big four. They're in that of thrash metal. You got Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer, but there are a lot more that, you know, that's singling out four bands that I've never entirely agreed with, because there are certain albums and songs I like better than others, even by these top four. But rounded out with Megadeth. Peace sells, but who's buying? The title track alone is enough to sell you on this if you'd not heard it, I would suggest. But I went with The Conjuring. Just an amazing song, an amazing album. I mean, Devil's Island and Garth Samuelson on here, rest in peace. Again, another jazz-influenced drummer. I think technically his training was jazz or background. But what more needs to be said? It's just such an amazing album. that's it. That's my 10 must hear songs to somebody being introduced to metal. If I was introducing somebody to metal, those 10 would certainly be on my list, but there's no way I would stop at 10. For the record, not a chance. I mean, you could do a list of 100, right? Easily. But I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I enjoyed doing it. George, amazing thread, dude. Always. You always seem to do these amazing threads, and I've enjoyed the entries I saw, which at this juncture has only been Brett's. Brett, awesome job, buddy. And the other threads I mentioned. I'll leave links to all these guys. What the hell? I mean, I usually do. It's just a way to reciprocate and support our fellow VC members and our buddies in the vinyl community. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I hope you dug it. Let me know down below any comments about these. Where do they rank in yours? It's not even a ranking. I shouldn't put it that way. What would be 10 metal songs you would recommend to somebody who was not familiar with the genre and they were just maybe they're familiar with rock. Maybe they're familiar with folk only. Can you imagine? Well, I can imagine. I mean, I know people. That's whatever floats your boat. But 10 songs that scream metal. You have to introduce these 10 songs to somebody just getting in the metal. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, weekend, whatever the hell it happens to be when you're seeing this. Summer, enjoy the rest of the summer. I hope everybody down there in Buffalo had a great time. My VC buddies down at the MGK Bash. I watched some of the videos. That's basically all I'm doing now is watching some videos, trying to catch up a little bit. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you next time here at Twanger's Turntable, whenever that may be. Hope to do another one soon, but we'll see. Take care. Cheers.